So let me ask, presently right now going on within your life, is it exactly the way you would want it to go? Is it shaping up to the way you intended to shape it? Are you viewing your world the way you want your world to view you? Now, a lot of men at a drop of a dime would instantly answer this question with shown confidence that, yes, everything's perfectly fine, as in, yes, I have complete control of what's going on, and no matter what goes on, I can shape it the way I need it to. Which is especially the most healthiest response a man could give to those questions at an instant. But really think about it. Are you shaping your world to the shape that you want it to be? Now, I'm pretty sure it was Ed Milet who quoted that the test of a real man is when a man realizes that nobody is coming to save him at any point that goes on within his life. Any type of situation where a man is put and just thrusted through and just realize that it's just all on him. That at an instant, I would say, is the true test at a lot of points in a man's life of realizing how much of a man you truly are. And I would really say it would have to do with determining the shape of the world you are shaping it. Your viewing of your world and how your world is viewing you. And you know what I would say in a lot of instances, everyone, male, female, whatever, you're put through those situations where nobody's coming to save you but your own self. It's inevitable to happen. It's a true test of your humanity, I would say. But most definitely, it is the true test of what is defined as a man. Now, have you ever paid attention to strong figures within your life? Your parents, grandparents, relatives, someone who has had great emphasis, effect on your life, that you can see yourself as the same as them. Identifying what you want to strive for or what you do not want to strive for and ultimately arrive to within your life. Now let me elaborate a little bit on my own history of my life. I don't really like to express too much of it because honestly, who really gives a shit about that? It's all about helping, man. It's just all about helping. But let's take a brief chapter out of my history of my grandparents per se. They grew up in the Netherlands in Leeuwarden. Now just to be brief, everyone was going through pure hell at that time. The Germans were completely demolishing everything that was around them, slaughtering everything that moved, and my grandparents were completely affected by it, especially my grandma. At the youngest age of 4, they were harboring a family within their home, a Jewish family, trying to save them from slaughter, and it was ultimately found out by the never-ending soldiers that were marching all up and down their streets. And once they were found out, they were made an example. And I'm not going to go into too much detail, but my grandma, only at the age of 4, went through something so detrimental I can't even explain the feelings she was feeling. And it ultimately cost the life of her baby brother. And quite easily could have cost her life as well at such a young age, from the way she intervened with it all. But soon after the war, when the liberation came about within their town in Leeuwarden, my grandma started working with a local psychologist. She would ultimately, from the tender age, I believe of around 10 to 14, learn the ins and outs of psychology, basically, and would treat a lot of patients that were going through symptoms and detriment of schizophrenia. A huge effect from the war. And I can tell you right now, having a conversation with her even now at the age of 90, you'd be embellished with such outgoing and welcoming attitude. Though she said she inherited a lot of that from her mother, she said that it was a lot more realized and shaped and effective when she was working with that psychologist for many years. She truly is an amazing woman. Coming over to this country as her husband was working and raising a family and getting to the point of her career life to where she was running an assisted living to the point where she was so good at it, she was actually training people who were going for a degree for that so they could be properly trained for the job. She realized and knew she needed to shape her life in a certain way that geared her towards helping. Now, what was so devastating to our family of losing her baby brother was the fact that she was in a family of 3 girls. And what she explained was, back then, it was a rarity to have a male born within the family. That it was much needed to carry out the bloodline, to carry out the farm life, the work, the agriculture. What's crazy though, when she had my mother, she was just like her, exactly like her, the youngest in the family, and just the same type of personality. just the same type of helpfulness, everything like that. My mother's a nurse. Most of the, if not all the women in my family are nurses. But it's funny because my mother married a man who grew up with 2 other brothers. 3 brothers altogether. Just a whole lot of other flues of situations that just kind of connected the pieces to where I am today. The fact that my grandparents in the Netherlands were almost anti-religious because of the detriments from the war, the effects of it. Their families very much shied away from it. And how they traveled to this country and found Christ. And my mother ultimately being married into a very Irish Catholic family. And on funnier notes with my dad's family, they've always wanted a girl within the family because they kept having guys. And when my sister was born, that was the first woman that was born within the family of my father's last name. The point I'm getting to is all this stuff going on, all that's very much correlated within your life, from your figure relatives or whoever or whomever. It shapes you to the person who you are today. It helps you realize who the person you are today, the direction you need to be heading within your life. Information that just becomes total reassurance to you, to where you are put into situations where you have to save your own self and nobody is coming from any which direction to help you. Because it gives you that true idea of which direction you need to truly take within life. And if you're already heading there, you have nothing to worry about. You have no worry that anything's going to come and help you. Because you know which direction you're going and you're very confident with that. And you just know it's going to end up in your favor because you're going the right way. Now, me realizing all this, realizing how it's shaping my life, it just, nothing, you can throw me into anything. And I just know the right way to go within that situation of my life. And I have full acceptance of it. It makes me invigorated within my life. It makes me enjoy my life. It makes me have a knowing that I'm going the right way. I don't get down from the fact that I possibly have
intergenerational transmission of trauma.
No, rain or shine, no matter what. If it's the way that it's shaped me to where I am today, I accept it. I follow it. Because I know it's me. And if I stray away from that, I'm not going in the right direction. And with those simple acceptance, I can view my world with that same exact acceptance. As my world views me with the same exact acceptance as well. Yes, I know. Acceptance can be very hard for anyone, depending on the situation that anyone has been through. Because a lot of people honestly hate their families. Can't stand them. Feel like they're placed in the wrong type of upbringing. And the figures they've grown up with are just backwards than what they view life as. But it truly is, all comes down to acceptance. And from there you just start shaping the life the way you want it to be shaped. It starts shaping up. You start moving up in life, moving forward towards what is brought to you and what brings you out within reality. I always thought it was funny when I first started this channel. I got a lot of like emails and messages and whatnot of being misogynistic. When I mean, I have the complete worldview of, I know that men and women have the same DNA, 98.5% similarity of that. And I coach personal development. I express ways so you can express your own self within your life. So you can accept yourself, no matter who you are, no matter what you are. But the way my life has been shaping me towards, has been shaping upwards towards, is me helping men with personal development. I mean, yeah, I can admit to you, men are not perfect as well, especially the men within my family. My grandpa, he cheated on my grandmother. He had a problem with that. Apparently, it was a problem with most men in Europe around that time as well. And again, the way you're shaped within life, it's kind of crazy how my mother ended up marrying into a family where generations since my dad's great-grandpa stuck with the same partner from almost the age of 18 to the day they die. So you're just feeling a little lost, that life is just not really shaping up to the way you thought it would be. A good trick is just to pay attention to your upbringing. Pay attention to the figures you grew up with. Draw correlations to it all. Draw them to yourself, because that creates a shaping process. That gets you right on to shaping up your life to truly what you want it to shape towards.
Saint Perigine, patron saint of all forms of cancer. We ask you for your help in asking God to heal my cancer and keep it in remission. Pray for me so that I may live a long and faithful life.